Everybody, welcome to the Psychic Investigator. So, guys, it's about 8:40. No, I'm sorry, 8:25 local time in Brazil, and there's a lot to discuss. But on the day that I posted the last video, that's the day of the hearing with Pam Bondi, and it was very disturbing. I'm sure you've heard all about it. I am behind, right? So you've seen it all, but it's just very, I don't know the word. It's interesting for sure. It's just very disturbing, macabre. It's the macabre. The word. It's really what can you say, right? The way that she is so completely empty of truth. So let's see. I want to know. I have a lot of questions here. So let's do the protection. I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle, I step into it. I feel protected, I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only the good, and so it is. Okay, so now let's go to the questions. Okay, so what, it's interesting. The first question I have is what is her essence, right? Because she's just completely it's like she's totally robotic. So I want to know what she's made out of. Okay. So, what is the essence of Pam Bondi? Okay, so what is her essence? Why does she come off as completely empty? So immediately I see this image of her as ever since she was younger, understanding that she had to identify who the powerful people were and just almost act like a wrapper around them, like she can wrap herself around them and just let them be the content. Does it make sense? So she's just, it's not a doll exactly, but she just makes herself available for them. And I see that saying what she's doing is an extension of what she's doing now. I mean, maybe it's obvious, but it's an extension of what she's been doing as was she ever a defense attorney? I don't know that. Anyway, she was in the government for a while. She famously worked to defend Epstein in Palm Beach, right? Defend meaning to give him a very good deal and such. So I see that that's just her, how she operates. She's just this empty person who, it's saying it's easy for her because she empties her, like she doesn't have, it's almost like she becomes completely emptied of herself and she just embodies whatever those people want. But it's weird because she kind of comes across as somewhat aggressive. Like she was very aggressive when denying the things that she had done, right? So where does that ice iciness come from? What does that mean, her behavior? Survive at all costs. That's what it means to be an elite person, she thinks. And it's saying again, from an early age, she wanted to serve the powerful. And that's her job. And that's what she's doing. She wants to defend them. And it shows me interesting, not unexpected. Again, an image of her as a child, observing abuse, very young, and wanting to. Wow, this is again, I this feels a bit like an invasion of privacy, but it's okay, right? For entertainment purposes only. But I see that she, as a child, like a really young child, observing, I think her dad abusing her mom or something, but she wanted her dad's approval so much that she was willing to say that he hadn't done what he had done. So that's like how this is an extension of her experience in childhood, that she wanted to be loved by her dad above all. And so she was willing to go along at whatever cost. Okay. So, so that's interesting. Now let's continue here. So I was watching some of the videos, but I wanted to just go over the article from the New York Times, which is not adding anything new, but it's just a frame of reference, okay? Because there's so much to discuss here during her appearance. It was very bizarre. So, Bondi faces anger from lawmakers over handling of Epstein files. Her appearance came as the Justice Department was under scrutiny over the Epstein files, its approach toward the shootings in Minneapolis, and its move to prosecute 6 lawmakers. So this is this is just one screenshot. There's several paragraphs here, obviously, and I want to read you some of it and ask questions directly related to it. Okay. Attorney General Pam Bondi refused to apologize to survivors of the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who were seated in the House Judiciary Committee room on Wednesday. Instead, demanded that the Democrats apologize to President Trump. Serious question: how does she live with herself? How was she able to act in that manner in front of the EPS victims? So she refused to apologize, right? And said that Democrats have to apologize to Trump instead. It's like, what? So I mean, really, how does she live with herself? How does she live with herself knowing what she's read and knowing what she's done? I mean, she's seen it, right? She knows it better than any of us. It shows me again this image of her almost like as with a transparent capsule around her, like she has committed to this and she's involved in this up to her neck. And she knows that it's saying, I see that she is defending some of the perpetrators, and she's gotten a lot of money from this. And she's not about to let the narrative of the victims take over. Like the victims, meaning, like in her mind, she thinks that it's sort of like a, like a fake sexual harassment case or something. Like in her mind, it meets meaningless, even though, but I still, Spirit, I don't understand. How could she, given what she's seen and heard, how is that even I don't understand. How is that possible? What is the mechanism of that? She's a liar. She's wanted to lie. And it's saying she sides with the oppressor. There are people who are abused, who have been abused, and they are attracted to becoming the oppressor. They don't identify as victims, they identify as oppressors. So in her mind, that's what she is, that's how it works for her. And the more she defends the oppressor, the greater the power over her own trauma. This is the mechanism it's saying of this. Okay, so really, how does a person have the? I really don't understand how does she then turn that into the Democrats thing? What is that saying? No, she's saying she's learned very well how to be a puppet for the oppressor in every sense. So she's just saying what she knows Trump would like to hear. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so then, I don't even know, guys, there's so much to ask here. It was so strange how she wasn't taken aback. She's completely heartless, right? So it's really very bizarre, this thing. But it's saying that's what it's like to be that person that is devoid of the light, chooses the darkness, and zero empathy or interest in anything other than covering up for the evil doers. Wow, okay. So, okay, so let's see. It's weird. I have a lot of questions really about her. Okay, so let me just pause because I want to write the questions out before I ask them. So let's go back here to the article, the second and third paragraphs. Ms. Bondi, imitating Mr. Trump's tactic of going on the attack when facing tough questions, offered few detailed answers, no admissions of fault, but many expressions of fealty and admiration for a president who has exercised direct control over Justice Department's actions. The bitter back and forth during a 4-hour hearing before lawmakers demonstrated the extent to which the Epstein files, once relegated to the conspiratorial outskirts of American politics, have become the defining issue for Ms. Bondi. The topic at times overshadowed her role in subordinating her department into an extension of Mrs. Trump's will and retribution agenda. So lots of questions here. Okay. So the first one, what's in it for her to be so subservient to Trump? What does she think will happen to her and to Trump? So what is in it? It's saying that's my job, and that's been the job all along to have. It's saying this is power for her. It's healing, quote unquote, for her in the sense that she again feels like the oppressor. She enjoys being in that position. And she feels like as long as she's one of them, she will be okay. So that's so that what does she get out of it? She gets a lot of money, she gets a lot of privileges, and she gets to feel that she's above others in a way that is not it has nothing to do with merit, right? It's like I am a harsh, tough person who exploits others and harms others. That's a good thing in her like psyche. Okay, so then the other part of the question, what does she think will happen to her and Trump? On top, almost like the NAZI era. But you know what's so interesting? I never understand about the NAZI people is that they don't understand that the NAZI Germany, it didn't last, right? It was relatively long era, but everybody died in the end. You know what I mean? Do they not think that? No, it's saying that they want to exercise this total power, even if it's brief. That's the ultimate goal, to exercise total control. And I'd say that's the essence of fascism. The population is meaningless. They are everything. So, guys, as you know, I learned German for a long time. I'm not a super fluent speaker or anything. And I've studied the whole Nazi ideology, visuals, language, and such. I never forgot there's this poster because they made it in the era. They posters were there was a lot of interesting political posters. So there's one. It was called I never forgot. It's like Du bist nichts. Der Staat ist alles. So this you are nothing. The state is everything. Like was literally, but it was like a beautiful poster with little illustrations. And this was for the population, right? You are nothing. The state is everything. So you are. So this is kind of uh, the uh, the goal here is to make people feel like they're nothing. They obey the state, and the state is everything. So that's why she. So yes, is she consciously NAZIS? Yes, it's a whether it's part of it, like whether I don't think it's saying. I don't think she necessarily is like a scholar of that, but that's the ideology she follows. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next topic, consequences. Okay. So, so let's just, I feel like now I got enough information because I always like to know what motivates them, who they are and such, but let's look at consequences. Well, I didn't answer the other part of the question, which is, does she fear prison? Does she think she'll get away with it? No, it's saying it's all by the mind. It's like, I am strong. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm just going to do what is asked of me. And I'm not going to worry about the future. And if you think about it, guys, those people have never experienced any kind of consequence in their entire life. So they're not about to suddenly consider that as an option. So, okay. So does she think, yes, she thinks they will get away with it. Yes, 100%. So. So, what will happen to her persecution of Democratic lawmakers and figures like Don Lemon? It's so pathetic, right? It has nothing to do with anything. Wow, I see that it shows me a figure of her breaking what is it called? Busting the balls, I guess this expression, and breaking the law and breaking the norms. That's her goal. And this is why I feel like it's very much NAZI like. They want to destroy democracy. They want to destroy people's sense of, again, democracy and decency. And that's what she's doing. And she understands very well what her job is. She feels that she's been put in place to do just that. Okay. And then what? That's it. And I see that she just keeps like doing, she knows it's like breaking the boundaries, just like an abuser. Like, oh, I'm gonna break the boundaries, I'm gonna show them and see how they react, right? First, they keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And it's as long as you keep up the facade or the straight face, you can get away with it. And then but I see that she does this stuff and she's very cold and keeps this tough facade. But when she realizes it's not really working. She realizes the population is not really bending to her. And she realizes the population that she wanted brown people to rise up so that they could arrest everybody. But that's not happening. So they're kind of like, oh, there's mostly like white people. So, and she's like, oh no, they should not have killed the white people. No, that's not how it's gonna be. And I feel like again, she's able to tell that it's not really working, and yet it doesn't. And I feel like it kind of, it's like, oh, it's not working. Okay, well, she keeps going. It doesn't really necessarily affect her drive to harm others, but it does. Again, she's aware of it. So, so again, so what's next for does she have a plan? What does she think? She thinks that she can quit and get a job in the private sector because she's done such a good job for them, especially the man in the EPS files. So, wow. Okay. Now let's go back to the EPS files. Wow, guys, it's I maybe I should I want to ask about consequences first before I go into the details of the EPS files because it's maddening to observe all of this and see that nothing has happened to her so far. So I wanted to ask, of course, what's going to happen to her, but I think it's a really interesting way to ask. An interesting way to ask about it is just to look into specific date in the future. So I said here December 2026, but let's see December 1st, okay? 2026. Where is she? What is she doing? She's in the White House. It's where she's in a room. She's filing her nails. She's in a white room with bars on the wall, and it's hot. I know there's I hear the waves. I wonder if she's gonna go to some kind of prison in Guantanamo or something. So is she? I feel like no. Let's see here with the cards. Where is she going to be December 1st? But she's cold as before. She's very cold. Blocked, dream, opportunity, losses, corruption, and the White House. Interesting. Okay, blocked. The network. And opportunities. Sometimes opportunities is related to corruption. The White House blocked, or the corruption and the White. Is she going to be in the government then? Change is happy. The government, happy change in the government. New person. No, that has experience. Okay. Okay, new experienced person. Could also be the Department of Justice, a new person. So interesting. So okay, so let's see, how does she leave the government? What are I want to know this. What are her circumstances? Okay, let's see. How will Bondi exit the government? Will she leave with, before, or after Trump? So I want to know here the moment how she's physically leaving the government. Okay, weird. The same guys, it's so interesting. The image of the helicopters. Remember how I've seen these helicopters around Stephen Miller and others? So she's like, oh, the helicopters are hovering, and it looks to me like some sort of like a locker room or locker that she keeps her stuff in, and she's getting her stuff out. because she has to leave by a certain, they have to leave. It's saying that this house, the White House, she's not in the White House, I guess the Department of Justice, right? They all have to vacate their buildings by a certain time. And she's like, okay, fine. I just here to grab my stuff. Okay, fine. Like, and she's just grabbing it, putting in, to me, it looks like, a duffel bag, like a gym bag, like a duffel bag. And she's exiting. Now, does she leave with, before, or after? Trump has left already and she's leaving. And I see that she waited, like she knew, okay, she knew Trump was going to go. She felt like she could stay for the next, like the next administration with Vance. So I feel like so first, essentially, showing that Trump leave first, and then she thinks she's going to stay, and there isn't clarity about what Vance is going to do. She hasn't been fired, quote unquote, by Vance, but Vance hasn't taken up power. So then when he doesn't take up power, she has to leave. But again, she's so cold. She's not really too emotional. She just doesn't have that. It's almost like she has Botox in her soul or something. So interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. So now let's go to the questions about the EPS situation. So what does Bondi know about the EPS files that we don't know? What does she know about Trump and EPS that has not become public? So first part of the question, what does she know about? Saying Trump is everywhere, everywhere. It's the majority of the files. That's the person that's most cited on these files. She's seen it all from the beginning. It shows me when he was with Ivana, even there's like, it goes way back. It goes way back. Even if it's saying that even if their activities together came later, they belong to the same, like some of the same Russia circles and stuff like that. So, okay, they've known each other. They would have crossed paths, which they did. So she knows that the bulk of the files are about Trump. Okay, so what does she know about Trump and EPS that hasn't become public? All the financials, the financial information. They have businesses together. They not didn't just socialize together. Trump was the main, it's saying he was the main wingman for Epstein for a long time. They were very, very close. Okay, but does she, okay, I don't honestly, like, does she not, why does she keep doing this? Like, she knows. Does she think, what does she think? Like, it's like, okay, well, that's my job. People are not perfect. Whatever. Like, she would just makes, no matter what they did, they shouldn't make excuses for them. So, okay, so because again, she identifies with the oppressor and it gives her a thrill to defend them. Okay, so now, okay, I got it. Next. Okay, so next. Okay, so I get it. She's seen it all. She has all of this. It's saying it shows me that, okay, it is giving me a number. 7% of the files have come out. And this is the most palatable stuff, okay? So what does she like, what is it? Okay, what is going to happen to the material that we haven't seen? Is it going to come out? Is the material going to come out? Yes. It shows me again Macron. And how they say people have access to these files. Different governments have access to them or something, or they have, what is it called? Like somehow they just have access to it. A lot of, it's saying relatively high numbers of people have seen it. And it's not a secret to anybody, right? It's saying, it's just that here we are in this information, what is it, like censorship. We are living under a form of censorship where they don't allow this stuff to come out. So, but is it gonna, okay, let's ask like this. Is the stuff that Bondi is privy to, is it going to come out? Let's ask like this, by the end of this year? Yes. Wow, it shows me this image of Trump. Like, okay, so there he is right now in some sort of like a mountain or something like that. Just on a little hill right now. And it keeps showing me this image of Trump much younger, in his 40s or something. Then in front of him, there's a pool made out in what's in the pool is mud. So but the mud is saying it's right in front of Trump. That's where he's gonna go. The mud He's going to sink into the mud, but the mud is the information in the files. So he goes down, he goes into the mud, but the mud that he created himself. And that's the truth about who he is, and all this stuff is hidden. It's like the mud. He goes into the mud, and that's who he is. That the mud is the stuff, the information. So it's saying, and then he sinks, and sort of like sinks, and uh, when he falls into the mud that he made, he doesn't come out. Like that's his downfall. Okay, so is this, so it's saying, but in other words, that the mud of Trump has to come out before he goes. It will. So okay, let's see, here are the cards. Is the mud, just Trump's mud, going to come out before he goes, he leaves the government? Is the mud, quote unquote, the truth, going to come out before he leaves the government? Let's see. Letter, okay. Yeah, comes out. Heart usually can mean SEX. News, very soon. Now, this card here means very soon. So letter of sun. Letter comes out about the SEX very soon. Okay, friend. Oh, his friend. Okay. The dog. Oh, this could also mean, guys, the dog is somebody who has our best interest in mind. So in this context, it could mean that the dog is the allies, right? Our allies. The dog is a friend. Let's see more here. A man. There is a man? Really, it's a man. Deal, man, deal. About the organization. Okay. Or it could even be the men who made a deal to keep the information private, because you have seen, and that's for, wow, there's so much coming out. So there's this one Republican that got money from Les Wexner, right? And I wonder, and he voted against releasing the file. So we can see all of this, all this dirt, all this dark stuff. But he's saying it's gonna come out. They can't stop it. So very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go for now because it's intense, and I'll come back tomorrow. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.